guys, this is Mansi Singh from Readers and Creators. In this video, we will discuss about top 10 inspirational books for women. Now, what is inspiration? An action or power which acts as a stimulus to change our thoughts, intellect, or emotions. Women have been a constant victim of patriarchy, and with time, we have escaped through claws of rigid rituals, but we are still moving towards more entangles. We can't deny the freedom and opportunities we are given in current time, but at the same time we still lack a lot behind when it comes to giving privilege between men and women. These books I will talk about will inspire a woman in a way that she will choose to crawl out of her victimhood instead of rooting to its unwanted state. These fictional stories or non-fictional examples will soothe your mind, will provide you calmness while you are reading the book. And after you finish reading it, these stories, these examples, these lines will keep enduring you throughout your life when you have to choose, when you have to opt the right thing over the wrong one, and most importantly, when you will become the leader of your own happiness. First in the list is Becoming by Michelle Obama. Now we all know who Michelle Obama is, but her identity is not only limited to being a wife to former US President Barack Hussein Obama, but her individual identity, which is far more inspirational and great, was created much before becoming a wife. This book is a memoir, her journey from living into a small house in South Side as an American African girl to being the First Lady in White House.
This 400-page memoir will make you part of its story, which is instead a lived part of someone else's story. This is about growth, success, decision-making, accepting criticism, and making right choices.
This is about an American African girl who become a center of a room filled with white population and guide them through the things they can done for the betterment of world. Her contribution in the field of education, social matters and health is remarkable. Next in the list is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Jen Sincero is a writer, a speaker and a success coach. Every self-help book just teach you one simple thing: be your true self. This book push us to the limit where our answers change to we can't, to at least we can give it a try, and it all hidden in that single thought: we should try.
Our society have developed a mentality that desiring about plethora of money is bad. It's greedy. A person must be happy in fulfilling his basic survival needs. But this book contradicts that. It says desiring about lot of money is not bad. It's bad only when you achieve that by surpassing someone else. This love yourself part after each chapter is something which is inspirational and motivational in itself.
This book also loudly deliver a message that to spread happiness and love in the world, you should firstly start from yourself. So read it. Next is The Color Purple by Alice Walker. I have recently reviewed this book on my Instagram page, and this book is so painful from the starting to the end. It's not like some fantasy you are riding through. It's a painful book which tells about the sexual abuses, domestic violence, and whatever a woman have to go through, and most importantly, if a woman is of color, a black woman. This is about a story of Celia, Nettie, Shagavari, and Sophia, and they all are different in their characters' personality. This is painful, yet it gives us the sense of what pain is and how we can come through it. This is about resilience of women.
This is a distressing, disheartening, fictional book which one must read to know about the non-fictional realities.
Next is A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. This is the finest feminist writing I have read so far, and this book argues about a place of her own, female's own, because it says that to pour out the thoughts in a form of writing, a woman must own a place of her own. And this is actually a feminist writing, but this should be read by men and women both, because people who believe in women thought, they will like it, who believe in the power of women thought, and those who try to hinder it should get the answer why they shouldn't. So yeah, read it. I've read it digitally on Juggernaut app, and I got it for free, so you can find it there too. All the Virginia Woolf collection is there on that app for free. Next is The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. This is a collection of poems divided into parts: wilting, falling, rooting, rising, and blooming. Again, so this is a cry of a woman whose lover slash husband has left her, and the pain she engrossed, and how she just lived with that pain, suffered that, then gradually overcome it, and then finally got over it. So this is so intense, and poems, every single poem is filled with emotions. In just few lines they express the whole ocean of emotions. So you should read it. It's a very, very beautiful book, and with the graphics in between, the book is interesting to read also.
You can find short quotes of Rupi Kaur on social media also. But reading this whole book is like a privilege.
Next is The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. Oh, how much I admire this girl. This book was set during the time of Nazi occupation. I have also included this book in the top 10 books for beginners. And this is also painful. But the most inspirational thing about this book is this girl, a teenager who have gone through biggest tragedy of her life, who have suffered through worst things, worst things. And despite all that, she was able to say that despite all this, I still believe that people are good at heart. How strong or how resilient or how wise she was at that age, because we get just one tiny betrayal from a friend or a lover in present era, and we are so filled with hatred. Imagine what she gone through, and still not even the tiniest shred of hate could occupy her heart.
This book is merely her diary, where she writes daily about her thoughts. She always wanted to get her work published, but this book got published after her death. Next is When I Hit You by Meena Kandasamy.
This book depicts the traditional wedlock system of India. This is a story about unnamed Tamil girl who have to bear abuses, beatings, martial rapes, and worst of all, restrictions to her opinions. This is a brutal book which will give you immense pain. The girl escaped through this brutal marriage, but she could never escape the society which held her convict. She bear through all that, come out from it, and still have to be the culprit of society. So this is the dilemma of a woman, of being in a wrong situation, opting the right one, coming in the right situation, and then again be something which she never committed at the first place. So read it, but it's so painful. Be prepared. Next is The Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. Khaled Hosseini's writing are always disheartening because he belonged to Afghanistan, and his writings are inspired from the period of Afghanistan when it was a war prone area, and this book also is set between the time of wars, Soviet Afghan war or Afghan civil war. This is about a story of two women, Mariam and Laila. They doesn't share a bond of friends, but they share much more than that. They are wife to a same husband and bear abuses, beatings and violence from husband equally. The most inspirational thing about this book is, after being so vulnerable, after bearing what they bared, after suffering through all this, these both girls, Mariam and Leila, doesn't lose their power of resilience.
This book tells about how a person's life can be changed in a single moment, and when it's about women, it can be severely bad. Next is I Am Malala by Malala Yosufzai.
At a very small age, Malala made a mark in history, and she also won a Nobel Peace Prize. She took a bullet just for the sake of females' education. At that small age, only a war-prone area can give the wiseness in a woman's mind about what importance education holds in our lives. You should also watch the documentary made on Malala by Netgeo, and this book also is her journey from being a child, a pampered child, and then witnessing the war, and then doing something which is a history in itself, and still doing things which are for the betterment of world. Last is Dearzani by Zarguna Kargar. This is a non-fiction. This is a combination of 13 stories of Afghan women. Zarguna Kargar herself was an Afghan woman, and she went to Pakistan right before the Kabul war with her parents. Later she moved to UK, and there BBC started doing this word service program, and Zarguna was a part of it. She, from her own personal story, decided to cover, to publicize, to show people about the stories of Afghan women, the traditional rituals, the traditional things in which those women are bound, how they suffer from being a small girl, from carpet weaving, and from being a wife to another person, going in another family, and then just shunned by society if they become widow. This is so painful, so painful. These are just 13 stories, but I took months to read that, because after one or two stories you will want to take a break. It can even make you cry, literally make you cry, and you will also want to do something for the betterment of these women. And this is a good book, very good book.
This book cover about this doleful look of the woman is enough to express the content inside. This is about the unwillingness of people to change their traditional rituals, and Afghanistan war have destroyed people's life, property, and the zeal and confidence of people who even survived after the war.
So that's it, guys. This the list of 10 books was done, and there are much more books out there about females, about their story, inspirational and motivational in their own way. But this was from my read books, and there can never be enough books for a person to read in a single lifetime. In the last, I want to say 2 lines from my own poetry. If you are a girl, even if meant to fly alone in wide sky, I won't once hesitate to give myself an endless last try. So decide, what are you reading next? Let's meet next. Till then, keep reading, be happy. Bye bye.